Good morning. It's Pastor Aaron from Edgemont Church in Bristol, Tennessee. And let's talk a little bit this morning about patience in the midst of suffering. We don't really like to talk about it because no one much likes to suffer, but honestly, right now, on a global scale, we are going through a time of difficulty, aren't we? And the Bible can give us some encouragement in times like this. And so let's read together from the book of Romans, chapter 8. And today I'm going to start at verse 18. And here's what Paul says. But I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the glory that is to be revealed to us. So right from the start, Paul is telling us that, we are going through suffering times. But he's saying that the times that we're going through right now won't even compare with the glory that is waiting for God's people. And that's something to think about. And he's going to spell out a little bit more what he means here as we go on. But that's how he's starting us. So look at verse 19. For the creation waits with eager longing for the sons of God. For the creation was subjected to futility, not willingly, but because of him who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself will be set free from its bondage to corruption, and obtain the freedom of the glory of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation has been groaning together in the pains of childbirth until now. What's he talking about? Well, friend, what he's talking about is this. He's saying even the creation around us is waiting for this time that lies ahead. Now here he calls it the revealing of the sons of God. But what he's talking about is this. Way back in the book of Genesis, chapter 3, when Adam and Eve fell, God brought a curse upon the earth because of man's disobedience. And what Paul is saying is, this whole world around us right now is suffering because of that curse. And what he's saying is, in these days that are going to come, that he's talking about, this glory that is going to be revealed, creation itself is going to be released from its curse. And that's a remarkable thing. You and I have never seen days yet where creation works exactly the way it's supposed to be, right? There's weeds, there's sickness, there's disease, like this virus that spread the globe. There's going to come a day when the earth won't be under this curse. There's going to come a day when sickness and disease won't be anymore, when death won't be part of a cycle of life. That's what he's talking about. And friend, when he's talking about this revealing of the sons of God, what he's talking about is the day that's coming when God will come and claim his children. Now let's continue reading here for just a moment. In verse 23, he says, and not only the creation, but we ourselves, who have the first fruits of the Spirit, groan inwardly, as we wait eagerly for adoption as sons, the redemption of our bodies. For in this hope we were saved. So what he's saying is this. You even feel it in your heart. Are you weary, friend? Are you longing for those days when God makes things right? For the Christian, that's the hope that we have. God says that one day he will call you home. He'll give you a new body, and your own bondage to corruption, your own bondage to decay will be at an end. And you will be exactly as God meant you to be. Christian, this is the hope that we have. And why do we have this hope? We have this hope because of Jesus Christ. After the fall, God redeemed his people by sending Jesus to go to the cross for you and for me, to take our sins so that we could have the righteousness of God, and so that we could have this hope that in the end, the grave will not win the day. You and I look forward to the day when God calls his children home, because we'll have new bodies. We'll have a new earth that isn't in bondage to decay anymore. This is encouragement. And maybe, you've been discouraged lately through the midst of this pandemic. I know I have been. But this is something that should give us encouragement, friend. Life is bigger than this moment that we're going through right now. If you have believed in Jesus Christ, there is a hope that is bigger than today and bigger than tomorrow and bigger than next week. The hope that you and I have is a hope that sits in eternity and which will never end. On that great day when God calls us, we will be ushered into a new era of living that will not be marked by pain or sickness or disease or death or sin, but instead life will be exactly as it ought to be, and it will be forever. And that's what Paul's talking about. It's an encouragement for us. And so here's what he says then in the end. For in this hope we were saved. Now hope that is seen is not hope, for who hopes for what he sees? But if we hope for what we do not see, we wait for it with patience. And so Paul is saying, you can't see this hope that God has planned for you. You know, if we knew just how close the day of Jesus was, maybe we'd be shocked. I don't know. We don't know when that day is going to come. It may come before the end of this moment. It may come years from now. It may come tomorrow. We don't know. And so he says, because we don't know, because we don't see it, we wait for it patiently. And so I urge you, friends, have some patience. Be patient. And in the midst of that, then, hear this last little bit. He says, likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know what to pray for as we ought, but the Spirit himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. And he who searches hearts knows what is the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for the saints according to the will of God. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. And so he closes this bit of encouragement by reminding us that even though we are weak right now, we can take encouragement from knowing that God himself is interceding for us. The Spirit is praying for us even when we don't know what words to pray. And in the end, he promises that he'll work all things together for your good. Friend, I hope that this is encouragement for you today. And the Lord bless you, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.